Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya nak jodoh Coach Zuriwi. Welcome. Alright, so sorry lambat. Am I late? I just got off the phone, another phone call, where someone contacted me. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, because several times already, because I've been sharing a lot on the beauty of marriage in Islam, the beauty of ta'aruf, Islamic style of dating, and people have seen a lot of the beauty of it, again, the beauty of the beauty in Islam. So I get phone calls, local and international, and they they ask me like, oh, how do I become Islam? Like, Masya Allah, I bukan ajak jemput orang masuk Islam. I tak dakwah macam tu. I'm not a da'i, that kind of da'i. Okay, and I'm not a da'i pun. I'm just sharing the beauty of getting married in Islam, the beauty of how to get married in Islam. That and apparently, they've become interested in Islam because they've seen the beauty of getting married in Islam. Islam is actually a holistic and a holistic faith, and it has provide guidance for everyone in every part of life that mempermolekkan, that beautifies each part of the way we live, and that's what they see. And alhamdulillah for that. It's just that I just sharing how to ta'aruf dalam Islam ni macam mana, kan? Ta'aruf, kenalan, nak cari cinta dalam Islam, nak cari jodoh, and what is the beauty of marriage in Islam. And they find it that it's a complete faith, a complete religion. Because otherwise, usually what they find, Islam ni is just macam pergi masjid, balik, puasa, that's it. Pakai tudung or circumcision. These are usually the main concerns, and harta pusaka, money, kan. Usually that's what they see, their main concerns. Like I mentioned, the main misconception about Islam, the main FAQ, is one is circumcision. Circumcision, kan, bukan salah dia orang pun, salah orang kita juga. Sebab apa? Oh, nak masuk Islam, kena potong. Apa punya style punya, the style of sharing the truth is that no, bukan kena potong. Cuba tanya ustaz, wajib ke, kan? And circumcision. Satu, the other thing is hijab, pakai hijab. They make a lot of questions on hijab, pakai tudung, kan. And then hijab, and then fasting, about fasting, and then about harta pusaka. They're concerned, if their family's concern is kalau dia orang masuk Islam, how will their wealth, is wealth going to be transferred totally into the husband, and there is another misconception that's going on there. And like, oh, aku kena jawab semua soalan ni. I was like, oh, these are good questions, and these are the usual misconception about Islam, and I have to answer. Of course, I answer to the best of my ability. And if I can't answer, I just say, can I get back to you? Right? And all I'm doing is actually macam mana, how to find marriage the Islamic way. And they've been listening to this my celoteh malam-malam ni, and they find it like, oh, it's very respectful, it's very beautiful, it's a clear pathway to find marriage, and it's a good way to start marriage and to stay married, get and stay married. My philosophy is to get and stay married again. So and then they feel macam, I didn't know Islam provides all these instructions. Yes, this guidance, it's a guidance for Muslims. And for and the conversation goes back and forth. It's like, they say macam, how come I see a lot of people still dating and sleeping around even for Muslims? I'm not going to comment on that specifically, but Islam is a beautiful religion. People practicing it are not perfect. Islam is perfect. Islam is perfect. People practicing it needs to work on it. People can. So, like, so I have to clarify on that again. And so, pelan-pelan. Then the other day, one guy, I just told him, you want to become Islam? His country tak ada jabatan agama. So, not Malaysia lah, his country. So, tak ada jabatan agama, terus, you repeat after me, brother. I terus bagi syahadah. And then he repeat after me. Alhamdulillah. It's like, oh, tak sangka aku bagi syahadah hari ni. Kan? Alhamdulillah. So, that's the one of my daily occurrences, alhamdulillah, kan. Other than WhatsApping, replying to WhatsApp messages, yang macam on relationship, that is what I do also on that's what I do. Alhamdulillah, like is kau tidak everyday just macam case, oh dia tak nak masuk Minang, he is disrespecting me, he's crossing his boundaries, blah 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 blah, dia solat tapi nak main, uh, kan. So this is rather refreshing. Bukan I tak nak layan masuk WhatsApp macam tu, tapi it's just that it's refreshing that, today I get to give syahadah. Alhamdulillah. So I'm following up on, cases-cases mu'alaf yang masuk Islam, kan. And then slowly cakap, hey, it's like, and then they start to ask about marriage. What is marriage? How is marriage like? And I tell them the sunnah, kan, about romantic, how Rasulullah SAW is the most romantic human being ever. So, yeah, okay. So, saja mukadimah, saja sharing that I'm happy that I get to give syahadah, kan, because I'm just sharing the beauty of marriage and how to get married in Islam, and they find that Islam is actually it's complete. It's a complete religion, and it's complete faith. Everything has its guidance to beautify our life. They did not realize that. All they heard was a lot of misconceptions. And alhamdulillah, my message is getting through, even though that wasn't my primary message, but my message is coming through. Okay, so alhamdulillah, I'm so happy, alhamdulillah. Okay, so alright, so topik kita, kan, topik kita adalah, okay, how to build self-esteem so that you can draw boundaries. And we've been talking about boundaries for the past few nights, and boundaries supaya is basically to teach the other person to respect us, respecting other people to respect, teaching other people to respect us. Kan, but you can't do this to me, and no, you're crossing the line. You're not going to touch me or fondle me, whatever, and or you're not gonna waste my time, my youth. You're not kahwin. Let's plan and have a timeline supaya we don't waste our youth. We're not getting any younger. Okay, and it's very important because setting personal relationships it allows you to establish how you want others to behave around you. Kan, katakan contoh, like he or she, wants to masuk rumah you tapi tak buka kasut, then not taking off the shoes. Of course you're gonna say something about it, right? And there is a general description, but in a relationship, let's say that you want to kahwin cari Islam dengan halal, kan, but he is macam, tak apalah, jom kita main dulu, see how it goes, let it evolve naturally, kan. So is that Islamic? No, that's not. It's not Islamic. So it's important to be able to draw these boundaries that, hey, I'm a Muslim, I do things the Islamic way, clear cut, right? And all this, whatever dating game is not Islamic. And we do it halal way because I'm Muslim. Simple as that. Kau nak buat perangai yang bukan Islamic, semoga kau cari dapat syahadah, but you're not the one for me. Please, this is the end of the conversation. Nice meeting you. Next, please. Lebih kurang macam tu. Okay? So basically, bukan lebih kurang. It should be like that. Like, kau nak buat perangai syaitan dengan aku, jangan. Kan? Just blah. So, I'll move on to the next person who will treat me properly. Kan? So, in a romantic relationship, setting clear boundaries helps to define where you begin and end as an individual. Can where you begin, this is me, can, and then how they end, right there. There's a line between you and I. Sebab kita belum halal lagi. Our relationship is not yet halal. Belum nikah. Sebab belum nikah. Okay. And boundaries create a natural limiting lines that help you distinguish what is your responsibility and what is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is essentially to do things the Islamic way. So, as a reminder, I know you know, as a reminder, there are things like Al Afaf, Al Fudul. You can watch videos a few nights ago. Al Afaf, Al Fudul, and Halwat. Those are boundary lines for you not to cross. So, also in setting boundaries, helps to ensure a relationship is mutually appropriate, respectful, yeah, respectful and caring, caring, caring for the faith, caring for the deen, and of course first and foremost, you nak kahwin kerana cinta Allah, and the other person pun nak kahwin kerana cinta Allah, okay, and a healthy boundary, healthy boundary helps partners to take each other's feelings, faith, and practice into account. Seeking permission from each other, yeah, to discuss things. Okay, bukan macam tiba-tiba terjah je macam bolehlah macam I just go to your parents' house. Hey, let's discuss this. So let's discuss. I need to discuss with my parents first. Contoh, I need to discuss with my parents first before you come meet my parents. Kan terkejut kan. Siapa ni tiba-tiba datang rumah. Tak sempat buat air kan. Okay, and also to show gratitude. That alhamdulillah, to show gratitude to Allah that you are grateful that you have met each other. Alhamdulillah, that's progress, and show gratitude to Allah that for giving you progress, and setting healthy boundaries. Healthy boundaries is also a great way to respect your partner's feelings as well as their different opinions and perspective. That's why apa nama? Apa nama? That's why I give I'm gonna give you the Jodoh Serious Test Kit tu this Sunday, insyaAllah. Okay. Um, so that you know, the other person is not your clone. Okay, the other person is not your clone. Okay, just it's not your clone. It's just in opposite gender. Okay, uh, and everyone has their varying opinions and at their different phase of life, their different take on marriage, their different take on finances, children, family, in-laws, career, can. So these healthy boundaries is a great way to show respect to your partner's feelings, opinions, stance, principles, and perspective on different uh, aspect of life and faith. So healthy boundaries is important in relationships because it helps partners to communicate and work together more effectively. So you have a healthy marriage, and so the establishment and respect for individual boundaries in a relationship forms a good foundation, asas, foundation, you know, for the development of strong emotional intimacy between partners. Is very strong because if you're both, you nak kahwin robot, you will not have strong emotional intimacy between partners. Okay, so emotional intimacy is very important, and um, so it where does it start? It starts with self-esteem. Before we get into that, okay, I'm just telling you why it's important first. It's important because healthy boundaries in a relationship also helps to reduce the tendency of partners fighting or wanting to break up or call things off or avoid any misunderstanding. Improves communication. or this is me, this is who I am, that's who you are. I think we can, meet halfway on certain things. Certain things that I can compromise. Certain things I really cannot. Because yeah, because of your beliefs, because of your values, and also partners. Let's say, for example, a partner's repeated violation, repeatedly crossing the line of established boundaries, helps to paint a more realistic picture of the health status of the relationship. Katakan this guy or this girl keep 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 apa nama keep doing things that are against your values, kan. Like for example, you nak kahwin kerana Allah, you nak kahwin cara Islamic, but he wants to take his time and not sure where the relationship is going. Tak apalah, let it evolve naturally. And the other night, I've shared about this sister. She met this guy. Dia cakap that guy nak kahwin. Bagus lah. She pun nak kahwin. But the guy cakap, oh tak nak kahwin tapi nak kena main dulu, kan. Nanti, seriously, what the heck, kan. And so it is of course clearly against Islamic values and her values. And another reason to have healthy boundaries is in relationship, it eliminates blames and it eliminates who you actually want to deal with. Calon jodoh tu, kalau he or she keeps crossing your boundaries, you need to eliminate them from from the ta'aruf, from the getting to know. Why? Because if they can't respect you now, imagine dah nikah nanti lagi susah, kan? So, all right. Okay. So, healthy boundaries, elimination is one of the process that I share, which is a guide, and it's a very important guide, so that you get rid of the hampeh-hampeh calon dulu, kan. Especially if you go for portal jodoh, a lot of people who are not serious, main-main, tak tahu responsibilities, tak tahu nak bertaaruf macam mana, kan, gatal-gatal. So you need to first buang dulu yang tak nak, then yang serius tu, yang tahu tanggungjawab dan tahu dia nak kahwin kerana Allah tu, that you accelerate that. Okay, and then you come to a decision making process. Okay, so we'll be getting detail into that on another night, inshallah. So so that you don't also blame yourself. A lot of us bila relationship tu tak jadi, kan, we blame ourselves, kan. Macam contoh, uh, you know uh, one case, putus tunang, kan, because the ex tunang cakap, oh lepas kahwin nanti I nak you lagi kurus, I nak you lagi putih, kan. And so, but most people would blame themselves. This is particular case, she in a way blame herself, kan. Cakap, aku dah lose some weight, I've tried whatever skin whitening stuff, kan. Dia nak aku transparent ke lagi putih lagi, kan. So you might go into blaming. Most people do, kan. And then cakap, you tell yourself, if only I could turn back time. There's a song, kan, if I could turn back time. It's an old song. You probably my age, then you might know that song. So, I wish I could time travel. I wish I have the time stone to travel back and change things. Because you blame yourself, it's a guilt yang tak bertempat. It's a guilt yang tak bertempat. It's not your fault, actually, kan. It's not your fault, actually, because you can't make that person happy. Why? But it's not your fault, but what is your responsibility is to eliminate orang yang macam ni, to even before you start having a relationship. Kan? Elimination. Eliminate the crap. Okay? And you know, one of the, I think, apa nama, Tim, was it Tim Cook? Steve Jobs. He said that the pathway, the one of the most productive things to do in life is to say no to so many things. To say no to a lot of things so that you can say yes to the great thing. Yeah. Say no to a lot of things, you can say yes to the right thing. Somewhere around that. Okay, I'm paraphrasing. So, okay, boleh. So it's so the tendency for one partner to blame the other is reduced, and this boundaries, clear cut boundaries, leave no room for deflection, macam, deflect, tempis, the ownership of the problem, can. So the set boundaries, ta'aruf, clear cut ta'aruf, what is al-afaf, al-fudul, and khalwat, and values, can, uh, uh, allow each partner to take responsibility, keyword, for their part in misunderstanding the conflict or the harsh treatment or crossing of the line. And this way, the conflict resolution can become a lot easier for the partners. Okay. And okay, boleh. So if you're following me so far, can following me so far, uh, so try to just reflect back, reflect balik in the past. If you have set clear cut boundaries and communicate these boundaries to your ex partner, can, ex boyfriend, ex tunang, ex girlfriend, would you have been treated the way you were treated? It's a question I'm asking. I'm asking for you to reflect. And bukan nak marah you, tak, because it is to look back that at the things that the mistakes we've made, and always remember, those who blame give away their power. Those who take responsibility takes the power. Again, the power to empower yourself, the power to esteem yourself, self-esteem. Again, so try to reflect back so that when you realize that there is something you could have done better, kan, macam postmortem lah, you could have done better, insyaAllah in the future you will not repeat it, kan. And okay, right, I just want to share a quick quote quote by Jack Canfield. If you know the name Jack Canfield, very famous in the 90s dulu, buku dia nama Chicken Soup for the Soul, kan. Self-esteem is made up primarily of two things: feeling lovable and feeling capable. Okay? Lovable and capable. Um, he's written so many variation. Sorry, there's a bit of a misconnection. So, what was I? All right. So, he's written several. Sana, the technical issue. Hello, we're back on Telegram. Okay, um, so Jack Canfield wrote many variations of chicken soup for the soul, or chicken soup for the teens, chicken soup for adults, chicken soup for a lot of chicken soup. It's not about soup. It's not recipe. Okay, if you've never read those books, it's about books. Those are a series of books about inspiring stories. Chicken soup ni is an analogy lah to make give you warmth and inspiration. Yeah, inspirational stories. and it is not about recipe or anything. I mean, if you can look it up, that'll be great. It's good. It's very inspiring. It gives hope. And I want to point out two things that is mentioned. Feeling lovable, self-esteem is made up primarily of two things: feeling lovable and feeling capable. So I want to um, apa nama? I want to mention on those two things right now. Can so self-esteem is one pasal lovable ni, and feeling mention three things actually. Feeling enough, rasa mencukupi, sebab a lot of people rasa tak kahwin, tak cari jodoh, or takut nak cari jodoh sebab rasa tak mencukupi, rasa tak sempurna, kan. And rasa not lovable, rasa uh, not having anything to offer, that's a big deal, kan. And feeling not feeling worth that you can that you are worth to be loved. So I'd like to cover those three things, inshallah, tonight. All right. So remember these three words: enough, lovable, and worth. Okay, enough, lovable, and worth. Okay, so but quickly, self-esteem does not mean it's arrogance. Okay, it's not even narcissism or narcissistic feature of a person. In fact, narcissism is a deep lack of self-worth. And narcissism is a deep lack of self-worth. That's a completely different disorder. But you know, but as long as you're comfortable in your own skin, you feel enough, and you feel lovable, you feel that you are worth to be loved, that you can handle things, like I mentioned here, feeling lovable and capable. That is the foundation for you to draw boundaries, so that in the future you don't get disrespected, mistreated by anyone. Okay, so because too many, I did there's a poll I did uh, the other day. Let me show this. So okay, if you can see this poll in our Telegram group, kan. So so this is a rather a flattened punya, what do you say, survey result, kan. Because kalau tidak, only certain questions yang being answered paling tinggi, usually 70%, yang lain semua, you know, on the lower bell curve. But this one is rather flat. It seems like it's very divided, kan. I feel I'm no good to anyone, 28%, 25%, I feel that I don't know how to manage a healthy long-term relationship. I feel 28%. I feel I tak ada value to offer in a relationship. And this is questions based from self-esteem. And not to say that you don't have self-esteem in your career. Sometimes this is just based on relationship, on cari jodoh punya perspective. Because I know a lot of my clients are very highly successful in their career. Career dia sky high. Okay, there's one uh, client I have. She's a C-level banker, but when it comes to relationship with men, when it comes to speaking and expressing relationship with men, communicating with men, she has no self-esteem in that aspect. But in terms of her career, she's flying sky high. And someone at a young age and being at the C level of a big bank, it's amazing. So, but when it comes to pasal cinta, pasal jodoh, pasal kahwin, the self-esteem is very minimal. Kan? So, uh, if you can see right here, and I just want to point out yang 28% I feel no good to anyone. 25% I feel that I don't know how to manage a long-term healthy relationship. 28% I feel I tak ada value to offer in a relationship. 28% I ingat kena kawan dengan lelaki dulu, then he will make the move to initiate talking about marriage. So the response, what's the underlying um, reasons behind this is not having the esteem to draw boundaries. Not having the esteem to draw boundaries. Why? Look at this. Dia ingat nak kena kawan lelaki dulu and hoping he would make the move to initiate talking about marriage. Okay, so if usually the trouble with this, akibatnya kalau kalau kawan tanpa haluan macam ni, kan, kawan tanpa haluan, he will dilly-dally. Usually he will dilly-dally because if even she proposed, he will say she's pushy. And why that happened is because in the beginning, she did not draw her boundaries right from the get-go. Did not draw her boundaries like, okay, aku nak kenal kau sebab nak kahwin. Kalau kau tak sure nak kahwin dan sure tak nak kahwin dengan aku, why are you spending time with me? Why are you buying me dinner? Why are you bawa aku ke hulu ke hilir? So, and then harapan menggunung. And then you wasted your time, your life, your youth. And so it's important to have the esteem to draw the boundaries. And then yang this one, I feel that I'm no good to anyone. It's like yeah, clearly it's a esteem issue when it comes to relationship, that you don't you have nothing good to offer. And it's about boundaries because you have not understood your own value, because it's an open border, so the value is unclear. Again, your value, your sense of self is unclear because there's no boundary. It's just come everyone, you know, do whatever you want. Can macam like I explained the salami tactic the other night, how people take, and then you give, and then last you feel your punya love bank dah kosong. Okay, so I'm going to switch to the private groups now and stay on Telegram. So in the meantime, cuba fikir sejenak. Kan, you have had a lot of love to give, and you have had in a relationship yang dulu, you've had a lot of love to give. You give your all, and worse, you lose yourself. Yeah, you didn't have a map, you didn't have a boundary, and you sesat dalam percintaan itu. So imagine if you had a map in that relationship. You know where it's going, you know where you are, who you are, where you are, and where you're going. And within that map, within that map, you know who you are and where you're going. Would you have let the other person distracted you from your destination? And you know where you are, you know where your destination, and then the other person has a different tak ada destination, dia tak ada niat nak kahwin, no destination, kan? Ataupun dia ada niat kahwin but not the way that is Islamic. So you're not aligned, and it was an open border, so no boundaries. So dia pergi meliun lari kat mana-mana pun, but you had a line, but you didn't have a line. Sorry, you didn't have a line, so it was crossed. So if you had drawn boundaries, if you had addressed yourself, what are your boundaries? Address your clear with your values, clear with your self-esteem, and if you had drawn those boundaries, would you have been treated in such a way? Yeah. and especially in case yang berkawan tanpa haluan. So fikir sejenak, while I'm clicking stuff on this thing, right? So not to say that you are alone in this. I'm saying that I pun pernah buat perangai macam ni, because contoh uh, I dari muda dulu I was dating, I wanted to have kids. I have the end in mind I had was to have kids, but she did not want to have kids, and she didn't like kids. And to me, I was dating her for several years already, and then I found out that, like, what, you don't like kids? Uh, that's a deal breaker, I think. Tapi sebab I